Okay, for next speaker, I no need to introduce her. She is the Laboratory Director and Vice President Operational at the Rotunda Center and has many years of experience and establishment of successful assisted conception laboratories in India and all over the place. Goral regularly participate in meetings and courses conducted by ASHRAE and ASRM, as well as in India organization. She keeps herself updated with the latest development in the field and is responsible for standardizing the latest cutting-edge technologies offered at the Rotunda lab. She has attended training programs at leading IVF centers in Belgium, Egypt, Israel, Singapore, Spain, Germany, Turkey, USA, and Japan. She has co-authored over 20 chapters in many medical textbooks. She has been co-authors of many publications in national and international journals. She has been the joint organizing secretary for 7 international conferences on infertility and assisted reproduction. She has been on the organizing committee of 4 other international conferences. She has conducted several IUI training courses and is very actively involved in the Rotunda IVF Fellowship Program. She has trained many junior embryologists who has now blossomed into many competent and independent embryologists. Welcome.
Thank you very much for a kind introduction. Respected chairpersons, friends, and colleagues, the title of my talk today is Vitrification of Embryos. Now, the ultimate aim of any ART procedure is the birth of a single live healthy baby, which can be achieved through an elective single embryo transfer. So consequently, if we want to proceed to a single embryo transfer and even reduce the number of embryos that we transfer, optimizing our cryopreservation program is essential. So now in the last decade of 15 years, certainly many centers are using vitrification instead of slow freezing. As vitrification technologies have improved their success profiles, new applications seem to have emerged, making IVF treatments more successful and flexible. So in my talk today, I'm going to briefly discuss the need to reduce the number of embryos being transferred, and then I'm going to look at vitrification as an approach to prevent OHSS, and I'm going to look at vitrification paired with minimal stimulation. We need to be aware of the drawbacks of transferring multiple embryos at a time. The main drawback is, of course, multiple pregnancy. But we also have to remember that when we transfer more embryos, we are also wasting embryos. I think we all need to reassess what we call a successful IVF outcome. Triplet babies who spend months in the NICU and who might end up with lifelong complications is no longer considered a successful IVF outcome. So that gets us to the question, how do we reduce multiple pregnancies when we are creating so many beautiful embryos with controlled ovarian stimulation? The only answer is to reduce the number of embryos that we transfer. So again, the question is, why do we transfer more embryos? I think it has a lot to do with expectations, lab expectations, clinic expectations in terms of their success rates, the patient's expectations, the lab quality, and available cryopreservation technology. Now say I have 5 oocytes and my lab is a disaster. So what is the point of growing them up to blastocyst and trying to preserve them? So in order to maximize our pregnancy rates, we transfer all the available embryos. But if we improve our lab, if we learn to grow our oocytes up to blastocyst, if we learn to preserve them well, then we need not transfer so many embryos. Now, expectations. What do patients want when they come to a fertility clinic? I think the patients want the best chance to achieve a pregnancy each time that they try. Most of them have been struggling for a long time with their infertility, and cost becomes a big consideration. So many of them desire a twin pregnancy. They feel that if they can have 2 babies with 1 attempt, that's perfect. All their fertility problems are solved for life. So what do we have to do? We have to explain them the concept of cumulative pregnancy rate, we have to offer them alternatives to multiple embryo transfer. Now, this is a Cochrane review looking at the live birth rates with single embryo transfer and double embryo transfer. And as we all know, the live birth rates with double embryo transfer is much more than single embryo transfer, but so is the multiple pregnancy rate. With single embryo transfer, the multiple pregnancy rate is almost negligible, whereas with double embryo transfer, we have a multiple pregnancy rate of 32.6%. So now in the same Cochrane review, they compared the live birth rates of double embryo transfer with the cumulative success rate of transferring one single embryo fresh embryo transfer and one single frozen embryo transfer. And the cumulative success rate of this approach of 2 single embryo transfers was comparable to a double embryo transfer, whereas they were successful in getting the multiple pregnancy rate almost negligible. Now, this is another paper looking at the live birth rates of double embryo transfer and triple embryo transfer. And the authors concluded that by increasing the number of embryos transferred from 2 to 3 did not result in any increase in the live birth rates, but the multiple pregnancy rates increased from 15% to 41.4%. Now, when we talked about drawbacks of transferring more embryos, we also talked about embryo wastage. Now, let's say I have 5 embryos, and we are going to transfer these 5 embryos into the same patient in the same treatment cycle. Many of us in India still do that. We transfer up to 4 to 5 embryos. So now, say for some reason, the uterine environment in that particular cycle is not good, or that transfer is a difficult transfer process. So what are we doing? We are wasting all the 5 embryos at one time. Or say the embryos are top, the uterine environment is top, and it's a smooth transfer process. So the patient might end up with a high auto multiple pregnancy, we might need to do fetal reduction, and again we are wasting embryos. So what can we do? We can transfer these 5 embryos at 5 different times. So if the patient does not get pregnant the first time, she has a chance of a second attempt, a third attempt, and a fourth attempt. And the cumulative success rates from all these 2, 3, or 4 attempts is much higher than transferring all these embryos at one time. Now, patients are not ignorant, but they are not scientists. And many a times they rely on us to guide them and make decisions for them. So we have to explain them the concept of cumulative success rate. And we also must offer them alternatives to transferring multiple embryos. Alternatives like embryo selection, blastocyst culture, and a reliable cryopreservation technology. The goal of a successful cryopreservation program is to ensure high survival and high viability after thawing. Now, traditionally, slow freezing protocols have been used to freeze all kinds of human embryos, but clinically satisfactory results have not been obtained. Furthermore, the results are not consistent. On the other hand, vitrification after ICSI is the best tool in recent times to improve our clinical pregnancy rates. There are many papers and tremendous supporting evidence in literature to prove this. So all these studies have suggested that vitrification implants fewer traumas to cells and is therefore a more effective means of cryopreservation for embryos than slow freezing. Now, I would just like to briefly show our results when we shifted from vitrification to slow freezing. Our survival rates were 73% with slow freezing, and with vitrification, it improved to 96.6%. Our pregnancy rate per embryo transfer increased from 39.1% to 58.7%. Implantation rate improved from 7.2% to 25.3%. So highly significant improvement in all outcome measures were observed when embryos were vitrified. And we have had a very dramatic improvement in our results once we shifted to vitrification. Now, the survival rates that I showed in the previous slide could have been in excess of 98%. When we introduced vitrification at our center, we were using cryotop vitrification. And the survival rate with cryotop vitrification was 95%. And about 8 months ago, we shifted to cryotech vitrification, and our success rates have increased from 95 to 98.5%. Our pregnancy rate has increased from 57.2 to 63.3% with cryotech vitrification, and implantation rate has increased from 23.3 to 28%. So now, with a survival rate of over 98%, we are very confident that we get back whatever embryos that we freeze. So it starts to make sense now to transfer only 1 or 2 embryos, freeze the rest, and perform more and more frozen embryo transfers.